If your feet tingle at night, if your hands suddenly feel numb without warning, or if you experience burning, stabbing, or electric-like pain that seems to have no explanation, you need to pay close attention for the next few minutes. What I'm about to share may finally explain why your nerves are struggling and, more importantly, how to stop the damage before it becomes permanent. This isn't about just managing pain, it's about protecting your nerves while you still can. Let me make a promise right now. By the end of this, you'll understand the single most destructive toxin attacking seniors' nerves today, a toxin most people are exposed to daily without ever realizing it. You'll know exactly what puts you at risk and what immediate steps can protect you. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison. I've spent decades treating seniors experiencing nerve pain, numbness, burning feet, loss of balance, and the condition many are told they must simply live with, neuropathy. One of the most frustrating things I see is how often people are misled about the causes of nerve failure. They're told it's just age, they're told it's genetics, they're told it's inevitable. In many cases, none of that is true. So let me ask you directly, have you experienced tingling, numbness, or burning in your hands or feet? Did you know that blood sugar can damage your nerves even if you don't have diabetes? Take a moment to write your answer in the comments. Awareness is your first line of defense, and once nerve damage crosses a certain threshold, there are no second chances. Let me tell you about a patient named Frank. Frank was 68, recently retired but still active. Yet his feet burned at night, his toes felt numb during the day, and he sometimes experienced sharp electric shocks through his legs without warning. He was told it was probably aging, maybe circulation, or just one of those things people live with. But when we dug deeper, we discovered something he had considered harmless was slowly poisoning his nerves. When we removed it, the damage didn't reverse overnight, but it stopped worsening, and that changed everything. Here's the question to hold on to. What was that poison, and how many seniors are unknowingly exposed to it daily? To answer that, you need to understand something fundamental about nerves. Nerves are living tissue. They are not wires. They are delicate structures that rely on oxygen, nutrients, and stable internal chemistry to function. Unlike skin or muscle, nerves heal very slowly, which means damage accumulates quietly over time. Long before pain, tingling, or numbness appear, your nerves may already be under attack. Now here's where things get uncomfortable. The worst toxin destroying seniors' nerves isn't some dramatic industrial chemical or rare poison. It's not even alcohol by itself. It's something far more common, something many seniors are encouraged to consume regularly. The most destructive poison for your nerves is chronic blood sugar toxicity, and this is critical to understand. You do not need diabetes for blood sugar to harm your nerves. Repeated spikes alone are enough. Millions of seniors experience these spikes daily without knowing it. When blood sugar rises too high, sugar molecules attach to nerve fibers and the tiny blood vessels that supply them, causing inflammation, oxidative stress, and damage to the protective coating around nerves. Over time, nerves lose their ability to transmit clean signals. That's when tingling begins, then numbness, burning, pain, and eventually loss of balance. One of the biggest myths in senior health is that neuropathy appears suddenly. It doesn't. It develops silently over years while the toxin works quietly in the background. Have you ever been told you're borderline diabetic, pre-diabetic, or that your blood sugar is slightly elevated but not too bad? That's often where nerve damage begins. Studies now show that pre-diabetes causes nerve damage almost as often as full diabetes, but most people with pre-diabetes aren't aware of it. Many people respond by saying, "But I eat healthy," and that's exactly the problem. The toxin isn't obvious. It hides inside foods and habits that seem healthy on the surface. Here's how it works, step by step. You consume something that spikes blood sugar, your body releases insulin to push that sugar into cells, and over time, cells become resistant. Sugar lingers in the bloodstream longer, and your nerves, especially the long nerves in your hands and feet, are exposed to toxic sugar levels repeatedly. The tiny blood vessels feeding these nerves are damaged, oxygen delivery drops, and the nerves slowly starve. Because this process is gradual, people fail to connect the dots and say, "It came out of nowhere," when in reality it has been building for years. You might wonder why not all seniors with high blood sugar develop neuropathy. The answer lies in exposure frequency, duration, and nerve resilience. Some nerves can tolerate abuse longer, but once damage surpasses a certain threshold, symptoms appear and can accelerate rapidly. Now let's look at daily sources of this poison. The first major culprit is liquid sugar, fruit juice, sweetened coffee drinks, sports drinks, and even so-called healthy smoothies. Liquid sugar enters the bloodstream extremely quickly because there's no fiber to slow it down, creating sharp spikes that directly harm nerves. Seniors are often told juice is good nutrition, but in reality, it's one of the fastest ways to damage nerves. The second major source is refined carbohydrates eaten alone: bread, cereal, crackers, rice, pasta, especially without protein or fat. These break down rapidly into sugar, and easy-to-digest foods often mean rapid sugar release, leaving sugar free to flood nerve tissue. The third source is constant snacking. Elevated insulin all day gives nerves no recovery window, keeping them inflamed. Nerves require stable conditions to survive, and constant sugar exposure keeps them in a state of chronic stress. Here's something most people never hear. Some medications can quietly worsen nerve damage by interfering with nutrient absorption, particularly B vitamins. Certain acid-blocking medications, diabetes drugs, and cholesterol medications can deplete B12 over time, and B12 is essential for the protective coating around nerves. Without it, nerves become fragile and misfire. Let me share another example. Susan had numb feet for years, and doctors blamed aging. Testing revealed severe B12 deficiency, caused not by her diet, but by a medication she had taken faithfully for years. Once corrected, her nerve damage stopped progressing, not reversed, but halted. That made a critical difference in her life. Neuropathy rarely has a single cause. It's typically a combination of blood sugar toxicity, inflammation, nutrient depletion, and poor circulation. Blood sugar toxicity, however, is the accelerant. It's the gasoline on the fire. Nerves have a tipping point. Early damage causes tingling or numbness. Later damage brings pain, balance problems, falls, and loss of independence. Once nerves die, regeneration is extremely difficult, which is why stopping the poison early is crucial. Here's the point I want you to hear clearly. Neuropathy is not always reversible, but in many cases, it is preventable from worsening, and that alone can preserve your quality of life. This brings us to the most important question. If blood sugar toxicity is the poison, what neutralizes it? What protects nerves? What simple steps can seniors take to halt progression? The next part will cover how to identify hidden sugar spikes, the single eating rule that protects nerves, essential nutrients for nerve health after 60, and how to tell whether your nerve damage is still reversible. Now let's get to the part that gives you real power. If chronic blood sugar toxicity is quietly destroying nerves, what neutralizes it and protects them? What can you realistically do, not as a medical professional, not as a fitness fanatic, but as a senior seeking less pain, better balance, and more independence? Many expect complicated answers: extreme diets, expensive treatments, or miracle supplements. The truth is far simpler and often overlooked. The first and most critical step is stabilizing blood sugar. Not aggressively lowering it or chasing perfect numbers, but keeping it steady. Nerves don't need perfection, they need consistency. Every sharp sugar spike is like a chemical burn to nerve tissue. Fewer spikes mean less damage, which can slow or even halt progression. Here is the single most important rule I teach seniors with neuropathy: never eat carbohydrates alone, not fruit, bread, crackers, or cereal. Alone, carbohydrates spike blood sugar rapidly, triggering insulin surges and shutting down nerve repair. But when eaten with protein or healthy fat, absorption slows dramatically. The same food that harms nerves alone becomes safe when paired correctly. This rule explains why some seniors develop severe neuropathy while others don't. Even with similar diets, it's not always what you eat, it's how you eat it. Consider James, 74, who experienced burning feet at night and numb toes during the day. He believed he ate clean, drinking a morning smoothie with banana, mango, juice, and yogurt. Liquid sugar hit his bloodstream before his muscles and nerves could process it. We replaced his smoothie with eggs and vegetables in the morning and moved a small portion of fruit to later in the day, eaten after a meal. Within weeks, his nerve pain eased, his balance improved, and energy lasted longer. Nothing magical occurred. We simply stopped poisoning his nerves. The second critical step is eliminating liquid sugar entirely. No juice, sweetened drinks, or smoothies. Even 100% natural juice is pure sugar without fiber. Fiber slows absorption and protects nerves. Seniors often drink juice for convenience, but it's one of the fastest ways to worsen neuropathy. If you want fruit, eat it whole in small portions after meals. This simple change can dramatically reduce nerve irritation. Third is nutrient protection, which is critical. Nerves require specific nutrients to maintain structure and function. Chief among them is B12, essential for the protective myelin coating around nerves. Without sufficient B12, nerves are exposed, fragile, and misfire. Many seniors are deficient, especially those on acid blockers or certain medications. Magnesium supports nerve signaling and reduces cramping and twitching. Folate works alongside B12 to protect nerves. Alpha-lipoic acid reduces oxidative stress and can improve neuropathy symptoms. These nutrients stabilize and protect remaining nerve function. They do not cure damage. Importantly, more is not better. Excessive B6, for instance, can worsen nerve damage if taken incorrectly, emphasizing the need for testing and guidance. Fourth is reducing chronic inflammation. Inflammation sensitizes nerves and amplifies pain signals, turning mild irritation into severe burning or stabbing pain. Processed foods, refined seed oils, and excess sugar fuel inflammation, whereas fatty fish, olive oil, vegetables, and spices like turmeric calm inflammatory pathways. Less inflammation means quieter nerves. Fifth is movement, but not extreme exercise. Nerves need circulation, not strain. Gentle walking, particularly after meals, lowers blood sugar and improves blood flow to nerve tissue. Even 10 minutes makes a difference. Movement done correctly is medicine. Many seniors feel discouraged because nerves regenerate slowly, if at all. But stopping progression is as valuable as reversing damage. Less pain, better sleep, improved balance, fewer falls. These changes matter. One of the most harmful beliefs is that nothing can be done. That belief itself is dangerous. People give up early, allowing the poison to continue unchecked. A woman in her early 70s came to me using a cane, unsteady and afraid of falling, told her neuropathy was permanent. Stabilizing her blood sugar, correcting nutrient deficiencies, and removing liquid sugar reduced her nerve pain enough that she regained confidence walking short distances. She wasn't pain-free, but she regained independence. This underscores a crucial point. Neuropathy isn't just about pain, it's about independence. Feeling the ground beneath your feet, reacting quickly, trusting your legs. Once neuropathy progresses too far, the risk of falls rises sharply, and falls are a leading threat to senior health and longevity. Timing matters. Early nerve damage responds better than advanced damage. Tingling and mild numbness are warning signs, not verdicts. They signal that something must change. Here's a practical way to take control over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Remove liquid sugar completely. Pair all carbohydrates with protein or healthy fat. Eat fruit only after meals in small portions. Walk 10 minutes after meals and have your B12 levels checked. Do not change medications on your own, but be aware of their potential nutrient impact. Observe your symptoms. Many seniors notice less burning at night, improved sleep, and steadier balance. Small improvements matter. They indicate damage isn't yet permanent. Let me be very clear. Anyone promising a miracle cure for neuropathy is not honest. But anyone claiming nothing can be done is also wrong. Real progress lies in the middle. Neuropathy is often the result of years of quiet damage. Improvement takes time, but stopping the poison is always the first step. Now that you understand the importance of stopping the poison, let's focus on actionable strategies to protect and stabilize your nerves, because prevention is just as critical as reversal. After decades of treating seniors with neuropathy, I've seen firsthand that consistent small adjustments yield the most sustainable results. The first step is blood sugar awareness. You don't need to obsess over numbers, but understanding how certain foods impact your glucose can transform nerve health. Keep a simple log for a week. Record what you eat, when, and note any symptoms like tingling, numbness, or burning. Patterns will emerge. Perhaps certain morning cereals, fruit juices, or afternoon snacks trigger flare-ups. Awareness alone is empowering because it allows you to target habits rather than blame aging or genetics. The next step is structuring meals correctly. The single most effective rule is combining carbohydrates with protein or healthy fats. This isn't complicated. Eggs with vegetables in the morning, a small portion of beans with whole grains at lunch, or adding nuts to a snack all slow sugar absorption, preventing spikes that harm nerve fibers. Seniors often assume eating carbohydrates alone is harmless, especially healthy ones like fruit or oatmeal. But without protein or fat, sugar hits the bloodstream rapidly, causing repeated microdamage to nerves. Even small changes, like shifting fruit to follow a meal, can dramatically reduce stress on your nervous system. Now, let's talk about liquid sugar. Juices, smoothies, sweetened coffee drinks, and sports beverages are often consumed under the guise of healthy nutrition, yet they are among the fastest ways to worsen neuropathy. Liquid sugar bypasses digestion controls, flooding your blood with glucose in minutes. For seniors, this repeated rapid exposure is especially harmful because long nerves in the hands and feet are highly vulnerable. Removing liquid sugar entirely and choosing whole fruits or small portions of complex carbohydrates after meals creates a protective environment for nerves, giving them a chance to repair and stabilize. Nutrient protection is equally crucial. Vitamin B12 tops the list because it maintains the protective myelin sheath around nerves. Deficiencies common among seniors, especially those on acid blockers, diabetes medications, or cholesterol-lowering drugs, leave nerves exposed, fragile, and prone to misfiring. Magnesium supports proper nerve signaling, reducing cramps and twitches. Folate works synergistically with B12, and alpha-lipoic acid helps reduce oxidative stress, improving symptoms for many. These nutrients don't reverse damage instantly, but they help preserve remaining nerve function and prevent further deterioration. However, dosing must be precise. Oversupplementation, particularly of B6, can worsen nerve damage, which is why testing and professional guidance are essential. Next, reducing chronic inflammation is non-negotiable. Inflammatory foods, highly processed oils, and excessive sugar amplify nerve sensitivity, transforming mild tingling into severe burning or stabbing pain. Instead, prioritize anti-inflammatory foods. Fatty fish, olive oil, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, and spices like turmeric help calm inflammatory pathways, reducing nerve stress. This, combined with stabilized blood sugar and proper nutrient intake, forms a protective triad that slows or halts neuropathy progression. Movement is the final cornerstone. Nerves thrive on circulation, not extreme exercise. Gentle walking, particularly after meals, improves blood flow and glucose regulation. Even 10 minutes daily enhances nutrient delivery and oxygenation to nerves. The goal is consistency in circulation, not fatigue. These practical steps, stabilizing blood sugar, eliminating liquid sugar, correcting nutrient deficiencies, reducing inflammation, and gentle movement, create an environment where nerves can survive and even recover function over time. Many seniors feel discouraged, believing nerve damage is permanent. While regeneration is slow, stopping further damage often results in noticeable improvements: reduced nighttime burning, steadier balance, improved energy, and better sleep. Each small victory signals that your nerves are no longer under constant assault. Real-world examples reinforce this. James, who replaced his morning smoothie with eggs and vegetables, experienced reduced burning, improved balance, and longer-lasting energy. Susan, who corrected a B12 deficiency caused by medication, stopped nerve deterioration and regained confidence in walking. A woman in her 70s, previously reliant on a cane, minimized nerve pain and improved mobility by removing liquid sugar, stabilizing blood sugar, and addressing nutrient gaps. These aren't isolated cases. They demonstrate that the combination of dietary adjustments, nutrient restoration, and gentle movement can profoundly impact quality of life. Independence is at the heart of neuropathy management. Pain is one aspect, but the ability to trust your legs, maintain balance, and prevent falls is equally critical. Early intervention matters because the later neuropathy progresses, the greater the risk of falls and long-term disability. Tingling and mild numbness are warning signals. They are opportunities, not inevitabilities. Take control while damage is still in its reversible or stabilizable phase. Let's outline a practical 2 to 4 week plan that anyone can follow. Remove all liquid sugar, pair carbohydrates with protein or healthy fats, consume fruit only after meals, take a brief walk after eating, and have B12 and other essential nutrient levels checked under professional guidance. Observe your body's response. Many seniors notice less nighttime burning, steadier balance, and better sleep within weeks. These improvements indicate that nerve deterioration can be halted and that intervention is meaningful. It is vital to understand that neuropathy isn't about miracle cures. Anyone claiming instant recovery is misleading. Conversely, assuming nothing can be done is equally false. Progress is incremental and requires consistent action over time. Neuropathy develops quietly over years, so improvement also requires patience. The first and most important step is always removing the toxic influence, stopping chronic blood sugar exposure and protecting nerves through proper nutrition and supplementation. As progress continues, patients often report life-changing effects: confidence in mobility, less reliance on walking aids, and decreased fear of falling. Even if complete reversal isn't possible, slowing or halting progression preserves independence, reduces pain, and dramatically improves quality of life. Beyond individual action, awareness and vigilance are essential. Blood sugar spikes can occur unnoticed, even in those without diabetes. Reading labels, monitoring intake, and pairing foods properly protects nerves from subtle daily assaults. Nutrition, supplementation, and gentle activity are your allies in this battle. Let's summarize the pillars of nerve protection: stabilize blood sugar, eliminate liquid sugar, correct nutrient deficiencies, reduce inflammation, and prioritize circulation through gentle movement. Each pillar reinforces the others, creating a protective network for nerves. Skipping one weakens the system. For instance, supplementation without stabilizing blood sugar provides limited benefit. Walking without reducing sugar intake leaves nerves vulnerable. By combining all steps, seniors create the environment nerves require to survive and maintain function. Let me emphasize a crucial mindset. Neuropathy is not a sentence. It is a warning. Early symptoms are signals demanding attention. Acting early not only prevents worsening pain, but also preserves functional independence. Every small change matters because it interrupts the cumulative damage that leads to severe nerve impairment. Understanding causation is vital. Neuropathy results from a combination of chronic blood sugar exposure, inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, and lifestyle factors. Blood sugar toxicity accelerates damage, but eliminating or controlling this key factor allows other interventions, nutrition, circulation, and inflammation reduction, to protect and stabilize nerves effectively. Seniors who embrace these principles consistently often experience measurable improvements: reduced tingling, improved sleep, steadier balance, and greater confidence. These tangible benefits demonstrate that nerve protection is achievable and that progress, while gradual, is real. Now let's address the psychological aspect. Many seniors have been told neuropathy is inevitable. This belief can foster passivity and worsen outcomes. Shifting mindset from helplessness to proactive management is essential. When seniors understand that nerves can be protected and damage slowed, motivation increases and adherence to diet, supplementation, and movement improves. In my practice, patients who embrace this proactive approach consistently report better outcomes than those who rely solely on medications or passive strategies. One final point: tracking progress empowers action. Keeping a simple log of symptoms, diet, and activity provides tangible feedback. Observing reductions in tingling, numbness, or burning reinforces that the steps taken are effective. It also helps seniors identify patterns, refine strategies, and maintain nerve protective behaviors long-term. The combination of awareness, diet modification, nutrient supplementation, reduced inflammation, and gentle movement forms a complete, practical framework for protecting nerve health and halting the progression of neuropathy. This framework is achievable, realistic, and effective for seniors seeking independence, mobility, and a better quality of life. By consistently applying these principles, it's possible to preserve nerve function, reduce symptoms, and maintain confidence in daily activities even when some nerve damage has already occurred. Remember, the key is early intervention and steady, consistent action. Small, sustainable changes that collectively halt the poison silently destroying nerves. No miracle cure is needed. Understanding, prevention, and daily protective measures are the real solution. Taking control today means fewer burning nights, steadier balance, and a safer, more confident life tomorrow. This approach allows seniors to reclaim control over neuropathy, reduce risk of falls, and maintain independence longer, proving that even years of gradual damage can be meaningfully slowed or stabilized.